Years ago, my sister falsely accused me of assault. After the truth emerged, she demanded an apology and wanted to reconcile, which led to her losing all her family connections. This is my first post, so I apologize for the storytelling. This happened 6 years ago when I was 18 and my biological sister was 15. We frequently argued over minor issues, which escalated due to our poor relationship. At that time, my father was married for the third time, and his new wife had 3 daughters, making 4 younger sisters for me, 1 biological and 3 stepsisters. My father, being in the military, had us stationed in Japan. One summer before school, our parents informed us, my biological sister, stepsister, and me, that one of us would be sent back to the US because of constant fighting. It was decided that my biological sister would return to live with our biological mother, while the rest of us stayed. As the school year began, I was entering 12th grade, my stepsister was in 10th, and my biological sister was starting high school. A few months later, I was called into my parents' room and was shocked to learn that my biological sister had accused me of assaulting her when we were children. My parents questioned me about this, and the only relevant incident I could recall was when I was 11 and had said something inappropriate I learned on the internet. I was apprehended and taught a lesson, while my parents and 3 younger stepsisters discovered that my biological sister was a pathological liar who had been caught in multiple lies. As a result, I was banned from babysitting my 2 younger siblings in elementary school and had to be accompanied by my teenage stepmother or another adult when with them. When I pointed out that believing a pathological liar only fueled her lies, my parents insisted they were taking it seriously. I argued that this approach only exacerbated the situation, which led to me being shunned by most of my family on both sides, except for an aunt, uncle, and a few cousins. 2 years later, as I was preparing to join the military with my supportive aunt and uncle, I received a call from my biological mother informing me that my biological sister was hospitalized for attempting self-harm. I questioned how this involved me, given her past behavior, but my mother explained that during her recovery, it was revealed that she had fabricated the assault. My mother apologized, saying my sister's motive was jealousy over my apparent happiness. I accepted the apology, but still haven't forgiven my sister or plan to. I've served almost 6 years in the military, and most of my family has either apologized or tried to make amends, having never believed my sister's accusations. My family keeps asking if I would ever sit down with my sister to talk things through, but I always refuse, saying that while I love her as a sibling, I can never like her as a person. She has told her family that she is willing to make amends if I apologize for the situation, and I outright laughed and said, "No way." My family persists, arguing that she's my only real sibling, but I have 3 younger stepsisters who still see me as their older brother without any issues. I'm also now an uncle to my sister's new son. I feel no obligation to reconcile with her due to the severity of her actions. Yet my family insists that I should because blood is family. Regarding comments on this issue, one asks if your sister has ever sincerely apologized or made any attempts to do so, and if your family has urged her to apologize with the same intensity they are pressuring you to reconcile. There is confusion about what you should apologize for: childhood arguments, being happy, or moving on without her. Given the severity of the situation, you have no obligation to initiate reconciliation. It is perplexing why your family is placing all the responsibility on you when having her take accountability would aid her mental recovery. It's indeed a complex situation. My sister has never made an official attempt to apologize. At one point, when we were nearly living in the same house, I stayed in a hotel to avoid conflict, but I received backlash for it. To my knowledge, my family hasn't pressured her to apologize. She blocked me on everything, so I haven't tried to reach out, and I've unfollowed her on all platforms. She apparently wanted me to apologize for a comment I made as a child, and for allegedly trying to turn the family against her. Most of what I know about her now comes from other family members, and she's also burning bridges with them. Regarding my relationship with my dad and stepmother, I have made amends with them, partly due to my therapy. My father and stepmother divorced, but I still consider her daughters part of my family as they supported me during the ordeal. My biological sister's relationship with my father and stepmother has deteriorated further, Thank you to everyone for the kind words and messages. This is my first post on Reddit, so I appreciate the support. No one in my family has found this post or knows about the original, but there are a few updates. Many have asked what I need to apologize for, so here's some context. I was asked to apologize for trying to turn the family against my sister and for a comment I made when I was 11, but I had already apologized for that comment at the time. During the holidays, I was unexpectedly forced to reconcile with her when visiting my father and stepmother. I was not informed that my sister would be there, and when I arrived and saw her on the couch, I left immediately, angry and yelling. I spent my own money on a nearby hotel and said I would visit under different circumstances, but I faced backlash because she was willing to talk only if I apologized. I refused and stayed in the hotel, feeling tricked. Currently, my biological sister is living with our biological mother and is being kicked out for lying. My parents initially couldn't believe it, but after having her stay with them, it became clear. I spoke with family who still supported me, and they confirmed that she had burned bridges with everyone by making false accusations against other men and family members. Neither of us was ever assaulted, but we both experienced beatings and occasional starvation. My sister has now alienated my father and just burned her mother's bridge as well. Her mother is now kicking her out and has apologized to me again, which seemed sincere. I have recently been in touch with my sister and a few family members, and although we are still in a period of no contact, I have been in therapy for several years and am working on letting people back into my life after meaningful conversations. I appreciate everyone's support and messages, and I'll keep you updated if anything changes. Second story. My entire marriage has been built on lies. I'm using a burner account because I'm afraid this might be leaked by him. I'm a 45-year-old woman, and my husband is 47. We have 3 daughters, aged 20, 19, and 15. What I thought was a perfect family turned out to be a deception orchestrated by my husband. We recently moved into a new home closer to my middle daughter's college. While unpacking, I came across a box belonging to my husband. I decided to check if anything was missing and found several items that startled me. Among them were photos of me from when I was 20 years old, including pictures from my college days, the gym, and hangout spots with friends. There were lists of places I frequented, like my gym, library, and classes. However, I met my husband on my 22nd birthday. So why does he have numerous pictures of me from when I was 20? I discovered he had photos of me in my own apartment from that time. Digging further, I found a diary with lists of my friends' names and details of the places I visited regularly back then. He even had a list of all the guys I dated back then. I found his diary from 1998, and most of the entries were about me, even though I didn't know him at all back then. To my shock, I discovered that he staged our first meeting to win me over. He took a job as a bartender at my favorite bar and spiked my drink so I would pass out. His plan worked. I was impressed by his apparent heroism when he saved me and took me home safely. I had left my purse at the bar, which was part of his scheme. He stole it, knowing I would come back to retrieve it, and that's how we started dating. Not everything in our relationship was a lie, but the initial connection was based on deceit. I now understand why he always brought me things I liked. He meticulously studied me for 2 years. I thought we were soulmates, but now I see he was a creep who stalked me. Despite this, he showered me with love, and I never felt controlled. He was always sweet, passionate, and caring, making me feel incredibly lucky. Even now, as he smiles and tells me he'll handle things when I have to work, it feels like a betrayal. I don't even know the person I married anymore. How can I ever trust him again? We've built our lives around a lie, and I'm struggling with how to tell our children that their father is a fraud. I feel like I'm losing my mind. No one will believe me because he has crafted an image of himself as flawless. I need help sorting out these feelings because I don't even know what to feel. To add more context, he lied and hid the truth from me, and I'm now worried he might have a second family given his psychopathic behavior. I try to remember the good times, but the fact that he meticulously staged our entire relationship from the beginning is terrifying. I left out many details, but he used Reddit, so I didn't share the photos he took while spying on me before we met. It's ironic that people are more concerned about his privacy when he has been violating mine for over 20 years. For those doubting the authenticity of my story, I want to clarify. This is not fake. I've altered some details to protect identities, but the core of the story is true. I'm not seeking attention through a throwaway account. I found the diaries while setting up our house. He kept one with him everywhere he went and stopped journaling after our wedding. I haven't read all of them, just the one from the year he meticulously documented. Update recovered with a Wayback Machine. Hello everyone, and Happy New Year. I wanted to give you an update on the situation. Thanks for all the comments and advice. I know many of you are eager to hear what's happened. In short, we are separated but not divorced. We are both attending individual therapy and couples therapy. I've decided to keep the door open for now, but I did tell my daughters the truth. The day after my original post, I began planning how to approach the situation. I maintained a facade of normalcy during Christmas, even though it was challenging to hide my concerns given how much he had lied. After Christmas dinner, I sat down with my husband and revealed everything I had discovered. I showed him the evidence and asked for the truth. He admitted that he had seen me at my gym and decided he wanted to meet me, so he began following me around. Since my hangout spots, like the gym and college, were all in the same area, it was easy for him to track me. He would often sit outside my house to observe where I went. Eventually, he noticed the bar I frequented with a friend and managed to get a job there. You know the rest. I was overwhelmed with fear and anger, and I felt physically ill. I cried and screamed at him, "Don't touch me, you effing creep." I could see that my outburst hurt him deeply, and he begged me to forgive him. He acknowledged that what he did was wrong, but insisted that his love for me was genuine. We spent the entire night talking, and I pressured him to reveal everything. He confessed that the only event he orchestrated was our first meeting. Everything else in our relationship was genuine. He didn't follow me afterward. He trusted me and begged me not to leave him. In the morning, I insisted that my husband tell our daughters the truth. We decided to separate but wanted to be honest with them, so we only told them about the separation and assured them of our love. My youngest took it poorly, while my older two were more understanding. I told my husband that we both needed therapy to determine our future. I was seriously questioning our marriage, despite him being the best partner I've ever had. A perfect husband and a good father. I cherish our happy moments, like enjoying snow on New Year's Eve, our wedding, honeymoon, the births of our children, and family vacations. Those memories are real and precious to me. While I know he loves me deeply and has never hurt me or been unfaithful, the betrayal is something I cannot easily forget. I feel guilty for calling him a creep, as I can see it deeply affected him. Despite everything, I still love him, and I believe he loves me too. I understand why the situation seems alarming, and I agree that the behavior described is deeply troubling. The fact that he used deceitful and manipulative tactics, including drugging you to pursue a relationship, is serious. This is not just a lapse in judgment, but a significant violation of trust and personal safety. While he claims to have genuine feelings and has not cheated, the initial deception and manipulation cannot be overlooked. Your safety and well-being are paramount, and it's essential to consider the gravity of his actions. Therapy can help both of you understand and address these issues, but it's crucial to remain vigilant about your own safety and boundaries. Your feelings of guilt and conflict are understandable, given the complexity of the situation. It's important to prioritize your mental health and the well-being of your children while seeking professional guidance to navigate these challenges. I understand why you find the situation deeply concerning. The behavior described, such as taking pictures of you without your knowledge, drugging you, and manipulating you, raises significant red flags about his mental state and intentions. Your feelings of unease are valid, and it's crucial to take them seriously. Given the severity of his actions, it's important to prioritize your safety. Your individual therapist should be fully aware of the situation to provide the best support and guidance. If you feel unsafe or suspect that he might react violently if he believes you are planning to leave, it is wise to create a safety plan and consult with professionals about the best steps to take. While therapy can be a valuable tool for addressing these issues, ensuring your safety and well-being is the top priority. If you decide to leave, Doing so with the proper support and preparation is essential.